What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm your host, Devin. This is your other host, Melo, on the other side of me here. Today, we're going to be discussing a very popular subject and a very passionate subject as far as me and Melo are concerned, because during their recruiting, me and Melo had pretty loud voices about what we wanted to happen with Justin Frye in regards to offensive line recruiting. But before we get into that, Mello, how you doing today?
Man, good. Just left the gym. As you know, my daughter wanted to do explosive leg day again, and I convinced her to work in some shoulders. You know what I mean? She needs those shoulder gains for when you go in shoulder to shoulder with a defender or another player.
Yeah.
And she's been getting bigger, so you could tell the difference. Her legs are massive. She started off at 36-inch box squat as her baseline. She was jumping
Mhm.
at. Now we're up
Yeah.
to 42. She almost could get 48. She's not quite there yet. And mind you, we do warm up stuff before hip abductors and leg
Yeah.
extension and leg curls before we do that. So that way everything is firing properly in injury prevention. So, I mean, it's good. She wasn't too thrilled with doing sled pushes, but it's part of the game. You wanted to
Ooh.
do explosive leg training, so you're going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. When I used to do CrossFit all the time, dude, I'd climb the rope, attach like a 45 to me, climb I think it was like a 20-foot rope to the top, come down to the bottom. And the next thing I always had to do was sled pushes. And
Yeah.
oh my God, that'll teach you how to
Yeah.
dig into the dig in. You know what I mean? But
Absolutely. So how you
that's
do it
good.
down there? I know you got a hurricane on the way.
Yeah, man. It is currently I'm recording on Thursday at 2:25. It's not looking too hot, man. Our neighbors are gone. There's nobody in our area here. So they've
Except for you?
yeah, they
Man, you're
evacuated.
crazy.
Bro, I got chickens, man. I can't be.
Oh, for real? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I got
Do you
I
do you
got
eat the
four
eggs?
chickens and I can't they haven't started laying yet. They're newer. Plus I got Cujo.
Yeah.
So we could take up and evacuate, but I don't know if a hotel would let us take the chickens in, and I'm not leaving the chickens here alone.
Well, of
So
course.
my brother and his family decided to stay too, but we got everything moved around. We got our trucks protected. I mean, we're as battened down as we could be. So we're gonna ride it out, see what happens. So prayers for everybody out there. That's in this path as well. It looks like it's getting pretty serious.
Yeah.
So I pray that the weather people are incorrect with their predictions. But yeah, so might be the last video I record for a little while. Just have to see what happens. But rest assured, Mello, we'll be getting on here and doing some videos with a few people. So we'll keep some entertainment for y'all in regards to Ohio State football. So let's dive into it. Start off with Justin Frye's recruiting ability since he's been here. This is his third class he's working on, correct?
Yeah.
And we all know, I'm not going to go over it again, the amount of offers he puts out, the relationships. Obviously, there's something off there. He's got that new offer out. He's currently after a very good player, actually. Demola A. That's what I'm going to go with. It's Aji Dahan.
Yeah. You
Did
got
I
it,
say
man.
that right? Aji
Yeah.
Dahan. Yeah. So that surprised me. But anyway, yeah. So he's going to make an official for the Nebraska game, so that is good news. The bad news is Georgia is after him very hard as well right now. So currently committed to Georgia Tech, but the update there is that we got him in for an official, so that's a plus, right? I mean, the realistic thing is that it really only matters where the class ends,
Yeah.
So let me get your thoughts on how the class would end if Justin Fry gets this guy. Then we would have.
4.
Oh shoot, yeah, refresh me with them. Let's go over them. We got uh,
Javon McFadden. We got Carter Lowe. We got we'll have Ajudahan. And
and then
then
the Jake Cook.
Jay Cook, yeah,
Yeah.
Jay Cook.
If you ask me, if we end with that class, I will be very happy.
If you ask me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
the reason I'm giving it a 7, obviously, Javon McFadden and Carter Lowe are elite. They're upper echelon players in the class for linemen. Aji Dahan is very good. He has a lot of talent that you could pull out of him. I feel like he has a lot of development, but his ceiling is high. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you don't, so that becomes more on him and his work ethic. And being from Gwinnett County in the competition he plays, I think he'll fit in with the work ethic. And Jay Cook, oh my goodness, I want all our recruits to be as determined as
Yeah.
that kid. That kid, man, adults can learn from him.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 7, and especially because they have 4. I mean, there's 5 spots on the line, so I think every class at minimum you should take at least 5.
Yeah. I mean, I guess to put my very excited in perspective, I would give it an 8. That's me being very excited, and I think
Right.
I might push it to an 8 just because of where we're at. Like the standard is kind of low right now, to be honest with you. You'd be
Hmm.
excited for him to get anybody, but I am still not happy with the offers that are put out, the position we're put in, the offers that have been put out in 2026. Adam Guthrie still doesn't have an offer. I still think that there is a lot of work to do with offensive line recruiting. And I'm still of the opinion that now that the NCAA rules have changed, that's a big deal. I don't know why people don't bring that up more, but maybe I'm missing something. But because of that rule, don't you think that the most important job for one of the 10 accountable coaches is now recruiting?
I
I
think
mean,
that's the most important.
they said that first off,
Yeah.
that those were Day's words. But now that you can hire other coaches for the developmental side of it as
Yep.
well, is recruiting not number one now for sure?
For me, it is, and I mean, they said it is for him. So
Yeah.
is it really? That's what we're going to find out. Now, let's see what happens. I have a feeling because I do believe that we're winning the Natty this year. I do believe that our O line has improved. I do believe that Justin Frye is a very good developer on the O line. So what I think is he's going to get another year. I think they already had a conversation with him about like, you better fix this recruiting or I have to let you go. And you're my best friend. You're my best man in my wedding. Like I love you to death. But this is a business at the end of the day, and my job is riding on you doing your job. So what I think is going to happen is 26 is going to tell us everything we need to know about Justin Frye. If he does it at the minimum, land these Ohio State, the kids in Ohio that are elite and top 247 prospects, then he's got to find that door to hit him on the way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. In regards to his, I'm looking up how many offers he has in 2026 so far. Now it's
Yep.
19, and last year he had 30 total. So he's still riding that. And no, we're not getting into the argument on whether the number of offers matters or not, but
Right.
he's still running that lower side of things. Some other news on the recruiting front: supposedly, the conversation with Will Conroy has picked back up. Um, and Will Conroy is supposedly going to be making a visit to one of the games. So that's good news that
Yeah.
now there is that communication back there. I mean, we will see if the relationship was damaged enough, for him to not come back. But so that's the recruiting side of things. I'm still not happy with what I see. I guess the end result is really the only thing that matters. I'm still not happy with what we got going on yet. But there was always that question. But what if he comes out and the offensive line looks great? And we were
Yeah.
always like, well, we'll have to wait and see. Well, I think we can see now the offensive line is looking great. So who gets the credit? Does Frye get the credit? Well, and if you ask me, the fair thing is the answer is yes. He's the position coach. if they didn't perform well, who would we blame? Justin Frye. Therefore, do I like it? Not really. I mean, is it scheme or is it development or what is it? But then you go and you hear players like Josh
Simmons.
Simmons say that Frye is a genius in terms of teaching his players how to read defenses and how to block the defense. Give me your thoughts.
Knowing what Jimmy's saying, what I heard Zach Smith say about him, what I heard Kirk Barton say about him, who all know him personally and who have worked with him or have played for him, I can't discredit what they're saying. I'm on the outside looking in. Who am I to say that he's not great at developing? All I know is that the line constantly improved last year from the beginning to the end, minus if you take out that Missouri game, which they did some foolery. I don't even know what that was. But if you take out that Missouri game and you look from the first game and the game against Indiana all the way to the team up north game, our O-line outplayed Bama's O-line significantly, number one. Number two, the improvement was massive. And then if you look at them now, you got to figure a lot of it is Justin Frye's development, right? And then the rest of it is Chip Skelly's gap scheme concepts and counter attacks, right? So, and the pin and pull. So at the end of the day, you marry that together and you get an elite O-line. Now, is there more to be desired? Of course. Of course, we want to see more, but we also haven't had a 100% healthy line. I want them to figure out the right guard spot and solidify it. I know they want to rotate between Austin and Tegra, but let one of them just lock it down. Let's create the most chemistry that we can. And yes, if it's an emergency, go ahead, flip the other one. But let's just continue this development. So I will give Justin Frye his credit right there. He leaves a lot to desire in the recruiting, though. And that's the issue that I think we both had. I don't think it was so much the development. I believe it was the recruiting. Because if he's an elite developer, right, and he's getting these 5-star offensive linemen to tag along with his elite development, now we got Joe Moore award-winning offensive line with Chip Kelly's run scheme and blocking schemes.
Yeah. So you got a couple different things to account for that my mind kind of goes back and forth on. So you have Chip Kelly coming in, changing the schemes, like you said. You have a couple players that came back that have been used to playing beside each other last year. You got left tackle, left guard, the center's new, the right guard's new, but Josh Frye also has that experience from last year. So there's 3 people that are coming back that are in their senior years, correct, in playing. So, just from a experience standpoint alone, they're going to be better. And then you add in our center, Seth McLaughlin, comes from Alabama, a lot of experience. So you bring his experience in. So just with his experience alone, he's going to be good. Then you put a right guard in there that's surrounded by all these veteran, experienced players. You got that. So that brings up the point of, is it the development or is it the scheme and experience of the players? Now, that was just like a rhetorical question just to get your mind thinking about something like that, because where I stand is, I'm forced to give Frye some credit in this. I just am. And I do that because if they looked bad, I would totally be at his neck. But the question is now, I'm putting you on the spot. Now, we were calling for his job. Are you still calling for it?
Yes. The reason being, recruiting is number one. He's not doing a good enough job. I need to see, at a minimum, I need to see more offers out by the end of the season. Let's put it that way. And Kirk always says, you can't put all your eggs on these recruits. They cannot pan out. But one thing's for certain, if you're not getting any recruits, I mean, that's for sure not going to pan out. You know what I mean? So, like, you
Yeah.
might as well chase the top dogs who are consistently considered the top dogs, as long as they're athletic. If they're big and athletic, you got to go get them, especially in this scheme where we're asking the guards and the tackles to pull a lot. They
Yeah.
have to be great in space and be able to block in space. Go find those top elite athletes that are top dogs. Like David Sanders fitted the bill perfectly. We lost out on him for whatever reason. It is what it is. Can't go back on that. But like 26 class, let's not make the same mistakes. You have
Yeah.
the kids in Ohio, give them their offer. Go taste the top dogs on top of that. And if the kids in Ohio don't want to stay and compete, which I highly doubt, right? Then you still got the top dogs that you could fall back on. It shouldn't be the opposite way around, because if you
Yeah.
haven't noticed, kids are leaving Ohio. Justin Hill's going to Bama, Trey McNutt's going to Oregon, Dorian Brew's going to Oregon as of right now. So let's not take these kids for granted. Put these offers out and stop sitting on your hands.
Yeah. Well, here's what you'll get from some people. You'll get some people say that the number of offers doesn't matter. It matters about the relationships that are built. So if you take
Mhm.
that stand, there are some things we know about certain relationships with the 2026 offensive line recruiting that's not good.
Right.
Communication wasn't there with Will Conroy. Communication lacked with the offensive lineman out of Florida, that Micah, forget his
Debo?
name.
No, he's not 26.
No,
He's 25.
yeah, the 26 one.
You're not
Forget his
talking
name.
about the kid going to TJ Alford's school, the linebacker.
I think I am. No,
That kid, he's pretty set on wanting to come to Ohio State last. All right.
yeah, no, I know. So, but what I'm saying is there's this, and I cannot confirm or deny it, but
Uh-huh.
there's this little backdoor rumor per se going around that he wasn't hearing from Frye that much. I know he's stoked and loves Ohio State,
Got you.
but that was out there.
You know what? That's probably true. Let's just be
Micah
honest.
Micah Smith.
It's
Yeah.
probably true.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so, and then you get Adam Guthrie with still no offer. So either way you look at it, the amount of offers or the relationships, there's still an issue there. So
What do
if I
you
have
think
to
it
answer,
is? Do you just think like Justin Frye is just lazy? He takes the kids for granted, or he can't multitask in terms of getting the team ready to play and setting aside an hour a week to just contact different recruits for at least 10 minutes of conversation?
well, as far as recruiting goes,
Yeah,
with the information that I have and what I can see, I cannot see everything. I do not know everything. So you take this for what it is. But just with my opinion from the interviews I have seen and some of the feedback from different recruits, I just felt like maybe there's a little arrogance there. Maybe there's a little, hey, I'm the offensive line coach at Ohio State. You should just want to play here. I don't have to chase you that much because this is the Ohio State University, and I am Justin Frye. If I offer you, you need to want to play here. Now, again, hear me out. That's just my opinion, man. I don't have all the information, but out of everything I've heard and seen, maybe that's what it is. And that probably used to work, believe it or not, but now that just doesn't. That's different. Times have changed. I feel you gotta change with the times. The recruiting has changed. Therefore, you can't do that anymore. You got to chase after these kids with everything that you got. The nil, the transfer report, all that has changed everything. So I can't pinpoint a reasoning. If I had to, if I had to guess, I would guess it's that maybe stuck in some old ways of recruiting a little bit. And to answer my question that I asked you, I mean, I would have to say at this point in time with what I have, and I reserve the right to change my answer because we'll see how the class ends.
right.
If it ends with Micah DeBose and this other dude, or he flips some people, then I can change my answer. But as of now, where we sit, the recruiting is no bueno. And that's the
Yeah.
number one most important thing. So because of that, somebody else needs to be in that the offensive line accountable coach that can go out and recruit. Somebody else needs in that position. Now, does that mean you still keep Justin Frye? Just move him to, who knows? I mean, if anybody out there says, "Oh no, you can't do that," well, I'm gonna push back a little bit and say you don't know crap, because college football has changed so much. I'm not sure anybody knows on whether you can do that or not. The rules are different, the times are different, so nobody can answer that question based off of experience, not even an experienced coach, because the rules are different now.
Right.
So you could say, "Hey, Justin Frye, you're still going to be our," but maybe then that would cause some confusion with recruits of saying, "Hey, I don't want to be recruited by the person that's not going to develop me." So there's
Yeah.
definitely some ways to pick that apart. But either way you look at it, if you ask me right now where we stand, yes, the offensive line is doing very good. And yes, I will give Justin Frye credit for that. He is, showing up and showing out there. How much? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how much credit to give him with Chip Kelly coming in and the experience of the O-line in general. But then you look at the recruiting side of things and where we stand now with the position that we are in now, it's not good enough. Um, so it needs to change right now, unless something changes at the end of the class. Um, but there's also some other bright sides to it. When the second string has gotten in, I mean, Day said today, Dylan from the Delaware Gazette asked him if the situation of subbing Tegra and Austin in and out would change depending on the scenario or the game that they're playing. His response was no. They both deserve to play right now. So based off of that response, he's going to keep subbing them in and out. He likes giving the new guys a break, and he also said it gives them the opportunity to go over and look at that iPad. Let's hit on that real fast,
Yeah.
because you could almost make an argument that the coaches are way more excited about the iPads than they are the in-helmet communications. Because is it just me, or do I still see the quarterback and all the players looking over at the sideline getting signals for the most part?
It
Or is that
looks
just
like
me?
it. It looks like
Yeah.
they are. I think they're doing both. I
Yeah.
think they're doing a combination of both.
Yeah, I do too. I was almost expecting to see a little bit more huddling out of our team this year. Maybe they're saving that for down the road or something. But these iPads, man, dude, Day brings it up every time he gets asked a question about anything. So, those iPads probably change the game more than in-helmet communication. And if you ask me, I mean, that's the way I'm reading into it right now. How about you?
Man, I agree. And the crazy thing is, colleges are starting that right now. But down here in Gwinnett, the high schools have been doing that for the past like 4+ years easily.
Really?
And they'll have these tents on the sidelines, two different tents. One is for when the offense is on, comes off the field, and one's for when the defense comes off the field. And they have big old like 32-inch flat screen TVs sitting there, and they had an iPad hooked up to it, and they're watching the last series, and right on the fly, they're fixing it immediately. So
Dang.
like it's kind of crazy that college is just getting it this year. And honestly, I never really thought about it until just now when you started talking about it. I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here like that's crazy. Like the high
Yeah.
schools
They're
down here have
just
been doing that. But yeah, I think the iPads are definitely more helpful right now than the helmet comms. But the helmet comms are cool because the cheaters up north can't steal your signals.
yeah. I know. I just more often than not, dude, I see Will Howard looking over at the sidelines. I mean, I've seen him in several different games go like this and say he can't hear or something
Yeah.
like that. So, you know, I I would be interested to know how much that's being utilized in each game. I mean, you would think that it would be because before the season started, everybody was in an uproar about how much that's going to change the game. And then I watch the games and I still see all the players looking over and getting some kind of signal, at least on
Right.
defense and on offense. But, I'm not at the games or down there to really know how much of an impact it's having. But
I
I know
wonder
from the,
if they're like throwing in fake signals just in case that team up north is still cheating and they're practicing throwing in the fake signals. So if they try to cheat, you getting fake play calls.
they should just,
That'd be crazy, right?
yeah, they should. They should just use the same signals they used last year during the game, just in case you
Yeah.
still got that sheet or something or the year before, and just see what happens, man. That'd be
Right.
cool. Yeah. Well, you got anything else on your mind you want to talk about?
Not right now, man. Just stay safe
Cool.
down there, brother.
Yeah,
Like,
will
keep me
do, man.
updated
We're
about how you doing as the
yeah,
night goes on.
yeah,
Shoot me a
will do
text.
for sure. We appreciate you watching, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're a fan channel. Email us if you want to come on. Comment section below. Go hit up our Kenyatta Jackson Senior interview we did as well. We're excited to get him back on. We're going to have a few more exciting guests coming on. B Moses is going to be coming on here before too long, and a couple other people. So stay tuned. And with that, go Buckeyes. OH.
IO.